Hey, everybody! We made it somehow. In a week with solar eclipses and a new Taylor Swift song, we somehow limped our way all the way to Friday. Welcome, everybody. I'm Billy Business. I'm not Andy. I'm not Roth, but I'm going to try.
Yeah, that's all you can, that's all you can do.
Be a weird Flashpoint amalgamation of both.
All right.
Bro Star hanging out here on Friday.
So excited. We're going to talk about 26 new Joker movies today.
Yes! Finally.
Exciting morning.
This channel has been missing Joker news all week.
J in SJU stands for
Joker.
Spencer Gilbert.
Yeah, man, you kind of do look like the perfect middle between Andy and Roth. I can see that.
What if I'm like Cable and I've come from the future?
Yeah, you could definitely be the love
weird
child.
Other universe child.
I like the storyline.
Dan Merle on the end.
Hello.
Hi.
So
Morning.
much going on.
Yeah, we're gonna start today with this little ditty. While taking a break from Avatar 4, The Quest for Peace, James Cameron did an interview with The Guardian where he said, let's see here, he was talking about Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. He said, it's male Hollywood doing the same old thing. He feels that Wonder Woman as a character is an objectified icon, saying, I'm not saying I didn't like the movie, but to me, it's a step backwards. Sarah Connor was not a beauty icon. She was strong. She was troubled. She was a terrible mother, and she earned the respect of the audience through pure grit. And to me, the benefit of a character like Sarah is so obvious. I mean, half the audience is female, kind of taking shots at Wonder Woman as an objectified icon. Of course, Patty Jenkins, she hit back, just saying that James Cameron's inability to understand what Wonder Woman is or stands for to women all over the world is unsurprising, as though he's a great filmmaker. He's not a woman. Strong women are great. His praise of my film Monster and a portrayal of a strong yet damaged woman was so appreciated. She goes on to say, I believe women can and should be everything, just like male lead characters. There's no right and wrong kind of powerful woman, and the massive female audience who made Wonder Woman a hit can surely choose and judge icons of progress for themselves.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, maybe James Cameron maybe not spout his mouth off on the day we give Roth off. So
Yeah, I know, right? Here with this take is 4 white dudes.
Hello!
Chicks, guys, what do you think?
Oh, man. I think we can all agree that both of these characters be shopping.
Yeah. There's so much to unpack here. It's like... it's like a roller coaster ride. This conversation with James Cameron, because I can see a germ of a point that maybe somewhere in this Terminator riddled brain he had rolling around that he was trying to find, but
This is the same guy that said Terminator Genesis was great.
Yeah, he said, this is a revitalization of the franchise. It's going to be great. And I got to look, because I tweeted about this yesterday when it came out, and I got several tweets back that were like, what do you mean? He knows who he's talking about. He made 2 of the best female heroines of all time, Sarah Connor and Ripley. It's like, well, Dan O'Bannon created Ripley, and Sarah Connor was co-created by Gale Ann Hurd, whom he often conveniently forgets to talk about when he's talking about his great female characters like Sarah Connor, also one of his many, many wives. That's the other thing. The quote that wasn't in here was the quote later in the interview where he said, the problem with being attracted to strong, independent women is that they don't think they need me, which is very psychologically telling, I think. Just who is James Cameron in here?
What we're saying here is James Cameron finally saw Wonder Woman, and he got a weird boner that he felt weird about. And so he decided to go out and do a big quote about how she's just objective, it's just male Hollywood. He just got real uncomfortable with how he felt about Wonder Woman on camera and had to yell about Sarah Connor a little bit.
Well, look, I think that regardless of what James Cameron was talking about, Patty Jenkins' response just rings true, which is like, women characters can be anything. Stop trying to say they have to be one way or the other. Kind of full stop. End of story.
Yeah, and this idea of, Wonder Woman's an objectified, like it's how far he went. It's like he didn't just say like, hey, I see why Wonder Woman is this, but I like Sarah Connor because she was this. Like, to say it's a step backwards. Like, the only way that Wonder Woman would have been a step backwards, I think, for feminism is if she'd been like, help me, Steve Trevor. Oh, there's no way I can rescue. And it had been this massive hit, and everyone was like, that's the female icon we've been looking for. But it's like, and to say like, oh, she's a beauty icon. Like, to me, that means that James Cameron watched Wonder Woman and said, like, when he says Sarah Connor's strong and troubled, to me, that's him saying that Wonder Woman wasn't. And it's like, those were two things that she absolutely was in that movie. She was very strong. She was deeply troubled by the state of the world. She had a complex story. She was a complex character. It just says to me that James Cameron saw Wonder Woman and just like, she's pretty.
Yeah,
and it stopped there. And it's like, Patty Jenkins hit it right on the head. He obviously doesn't understand anything about what that movie meant to anybody, not just women, to anybody.
Sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's going for in his statement. Like you said, maybe like there's a germ of a
point somewhere. Yeah.
But like I went with my fiance. She doesn't really like comic book movies. She doesn't really get into any of this stuff. And she got very emotional, seeing, well, for her, not only a female, but also played by a Jewish woman. So it was just, like a very powerful moment. So like, how can you say that's a step backwards? That's very strange to me. Like, I guess maybe he can't experience it. I couldn't experience what my fiance was feeling, but I felt the power in that moment, just being there with her.
Well, I think the thing to take away from this is that the guy that's making 6 more Sam Worthington led movies thinks that your fiance is an idiot and wrong.
Right, like insinuating that because Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot, who's gorgeous, like that we can't relate to her, or like that my fiance would have a stronger connection to Sarah Connor because she's
has
more
muscles.
Flawed. Yeah, I don't understand the logic. I guess.
And to call this he's like he called it self-congratulatory Hollywood back patting. It's like, do you not understand the fact that this was a massive hit? Also, it's not like Hollywood made this Wonder Woman movie that they thought was great and nobody went to saw it and they were just like, oh, it's the death of feminism. Why we made this amazing movie? It's like, no, like
it overperformed.
Hollywood backpatting. It's like it succeeded in spite of Hollywood, and it's like the backpatting has been from the fans and the moviegoers that saw the movie and said that was awesome. Like, it's not Hollywood patting themselves on the back. It was a movie that has been widely openly, enthusiastically received globally. I mean, it's an $800 million international hit. So it's just like, this baffled me. I don't know what movie he saw or what point he's trying to make.
The whole interview is just bizarre.
I don't care what you're talking about when you're saying, hey, that thing sucked. You know who did it better? Me. Like, that never works. That's never an effective strategy for getting a point across. And I just don't understand this. I mean, what is he doing? What's James Cameron
Maybe he's got
doing?
Like what is it when you go up too fast from below the ocean?
He's got the bends.
Maybe someone should sit him down before an interview and just give him 15 to cool out.
Yeah, what is Patty Jenkins going to have to say after Avatar 2 and 3? That's what I want to know at this point. Because it's like, oh, really? What have you been doing? Like you said, with more Sam Worthington-led cast, what have you been doing?
Don't forget Neytiri. Everyone always forgets Neytiri.
I forget almost everything from that movie. You could put a gun to my head and I couldn't tell you one character's name from Avatar.
James is like, you call this a female character? She's not even having sex with people with her ponytail.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Why do you have to chime in?
Like,
I wonder
why would you take this tack?
Was someone just like, what do you think of Wonder Woman? Or did he do this unprovoked? Like, what was the setup for him to start this rant?
Maybe this was Warner Brothers. They're like, hey, James, do you see this Wonder Woman thing? Like, trying to get the heat away from them. That's the only thing I can think. Maybe this is a Warner Brothers inside job. They're like,
maybe the Joker did it.
We went too crazy this week.
I mean, if he wanted to stroke his own ego, he could have just said, like, hey, I've been making movies with strong female protagonists for years, and it was great to see another one. Easy, done. Let's forget about the striptease dance.
I'd love to see more of them.
That was a great moment in women's history.
But it's like, why would that even need to be
soak
said?
herself down and dance.
Why does that even need to be said? Like, what? Like, talk about patting yourself on the back. Like,
Exactly.
What was the whole point?
Yeah,
of
it's
this
talking about Hollywood back
conversation?
patting.
Right.
When you're the guy that directed Aliens and Terminator 2, at no point in your career anymore do you have to go, what about me? Like, we know you're James Cameron. We respect you, James Cameron. Stop being such a baby. Stop being such a little baby, James Cameron.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to prove himself. It's like, you don't have to prove anything.
You're fine.
But this is weird because this is also now like coming off the Josh Brolin thing where he's like, Cameron was being weird and I don't care anymore. Now he's being weird again. Like, is James Cameron okay?
He's been alone. He's been alone in a green screen studio with people with dots on their faces or underwater for 10 years. No, he's not okay.
Well, his ex-wife has been winning Oscars.
Yeah, Catherine Bigelow won Best Director. Yeah.
Maybe it's just like a massive psychology experiment. Like, what happens when you just completely remove someone at the top of their game and put them in a green screen room with dots all over everyone's faces?
We're finding out.
Yeah,
We're finding out right now.
We'll see next week in the continuing saga of.
He literally writes my shows for me. Between him and DC, it's just been the easiest couple weeks.
Next week,
Right?
Billy.
Yeah,
It's so
I know.
much stuff.
Everyone's just falling in my lap.
Next week, we're going to find out that James Cameron is directing the Mad Love adaptation of Jennifer Harley Quinn.
It all comes full circle. All right. Well, have we all?
Yes, this was Four White Guys on Feminism.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it at home.
New show.
Turn
coming on
off the
ScreenJunkies
virtue
News.
signal.
This is the view.
Let's talk about a different kind of justice. This is justice for Bozo because finally clowns are getting their clown-only screenings of It. Why on earth? This sounds like the worst punishment that someone could give me is to go to a theater full of clowns. This possibly inspired by the Wonder Woman screenings earlier in Austin. The Alamo Drafthouse is hosting clown-only screenings of Stephen King's It on September 6th. According to the company's website, the bizarre event requires that all attendees should arrive dressed as a clown in order to attend. They will also be hosting a Barrel O' Fun pre-party, including face painters and clown touch-ups, a photo booth, raffle, and other terrifying merriment.
That's awesome.
I think it's a great idea.
I hate this so much. Like,
Well, that's the point. It's like a horror
porgs
movie. They're trying
clowns.
to pump it up a notch. This is like a horror movie on steroids. Is to surround yourself with monsters while you're
I
watching
feel
it.
like that would ruin like the movie experience if everyone's just like the crazy clown person. Like,
Oh
of course
no!
there's
It's
gonna
like
be
because you'll get
one-
lost in the movie, and then like just one big foam finger will like run itself up your leg.
I want them to let one non-clown audience member in
one
that's just in
non-clown
the middle.
Don't tell them.
I just, don't tell them what they're going to. If I were in that screening, I would just wait until a really silent, tense moment in the movie, and I would just go. I think this is brilliant trolling from Alamo Drafthouse. I think they took so much garbage over these women-only Wonder Woman screenings. Just so much, just like they're just like, oh, really? Come on.
Maybe that's why James Cameron was mad. He wanted to go see Wonder Woman, and then when it was a woman-only screen, he's like, son of a bitch.
He's like, this is the one time I could have seen it.
I think that, honestly, I think this is Alamo Drafthouse just trolling the people that got pissed off over that. They should do this for every movie. They should have Hulk only screenings of Thor Ragnarok. They should have, mustache only screenings of that Orient Express movie. I love it.
I'm into this.
I think it's great.
What do you think after James Cameron sees It, he's going to go on a rant about how clowns are a big step backwards for clown Hollywood now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Has he done a clown movie?
I was just trying to think if he's done clowns. No.
I mean, are there that many clown movies? I can't think of movies.
Big Adventure, there are pivotal clown moments.
Yeah, there are clown
Insane.
moments.
There's
with
the
Bill
insane
Murray.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yep.
Poltergeist, right?
Yeah, that has got a clown in it.
Poltergeist. Yeah.
Quick change.
Yep. Spawn.
Do you count Joker?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a
clownish.
clown.
He's a clown. Yeah.
Joker's like the only clown that I feel like doesn't scare most people who are afraid of clowns.
Especially not the
Right.
True.
Not many good clowns though. In cinema. Patch Adams.
Yeah. Billy Madison.
Although he's kind of like the angel of death.
Yeah, what if you show up to
shows
this
up, you're like,
thing? What if you show up to this It screening as Patch Adams? Will they let you in? Just in a doctor's coat and a red nose? Like, you didn't say what kind of clown.
Oh God. Billy Madison has one of the great unheralded clown moments of in cinema history.
Which one's that?
The clown on stilts that gets knocked over is like, remember me? I bumped my head.
Bet you thought that I was dead.
That's a great clown moment that no one ever talks about.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
We'll
go.
be counting them all down in our top 20 clown moments in clown history.
Oh, it's coming.
I was gonna say, I think Joe's literally working on like best clowns in movies. I'm like, sorry to.
It went on our dry erase board. It gets made.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like you have your work cut out for you though.
I do.
Great Seinfeld episode, The Clown, played by John Favreau.
Yeah, Favreau's
true.
clown.
Yeah, it's true. I do agree, though. That is a brilliant idea to just like a radio station should just do find someone that doesn't know what this is and do a contest.
You get a free ticket to a movie.
Drop them into the middle of the screening.
Yeah.
Like, do
No
any of you have
explanation.
clown phobias, or it doesn't bother
I think
you?
I have the right amount of clown phobia. Like,
Yeah, and
it's
appropriate.
uncomfortable because you just know the sadness behind all of them.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I don't think they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
I just think it's like, it's creepy. Why would you choose to do
Like
this?
my grandma, God rest her soul, decided when I was a little kid that clowns were the thing for me, and so anything I got from them was like clowns. It was little clown statues and clown paintings, and my mom just would not let my dad take them out of my room because he was
Wow.
just like, just let this poor boy sleep.
Can't sleep, clown.
And that's a puzzle piece about me.
How did we miss that on our tell-all interview? Your clown bedroom.
I just feel like you should have like guessed within a few days of knowing me, like, oh, this guy had 2 clown
He had
portraits
too many
up.
clowns.
Clowns. What clown phobia, Dan?
Clowns would make me deeply unsettled. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is to blame for much of it.
It's fair.
The roving clowns that would walk around certain family-themed restaurants. I don't know if this is just a southern thing, but like once a week they would hire a magician or a clown to like walk around to the tables while you're eating. And I just would always just be praying that they would not come to my table because I found it deeply unsettling and I got very nervous. So I'm I wouldn't say, I loved Bozo the Clown when I was a kid, but other than that, I'm not a fan of clowns.
I feel like no one really likes clowns for what they are supposed to be. Like anyone I feel like really enjoys clowns enjoys like the twisted horror aspect. Like the comedy of clowns is not really something that's like, that is hilarious, you know? Like I want to meet that
Well,
person
I
who's
think
like
we've
dying.
all aged out of their target audience for clowns.
But I feel
think
like
we're all a
even
little
like
old.
how many, if you were to go to like an elementary school, how many kids would just like lose their shit at like a clown like falling over or throwing a pie in someone's
Let's
face?
find out. I don't know. I haven't been to an elementary school in a long time.
Market research.
All right. Well, we've squeezed the juice all we can out of that one. All right. This is a story this is a story I was hoping we would get to. This has nothing to do with anything.
Excellent.
Except I found this morning. There is a hip hop artist named Joey Badass.
With $2 signs.
With $2 signs instead of S's. He's now been dubbed Joey Bad Eyes on social media. He bragged Monday during the eclipse. He said, "Am I crazy for watching the eclipse today with no glasses?" He said, "I've sun gazed before and afterwards saw colors for a day, but I didn't die though." He said, "This ain't the first solar eclipse, and I'm pretty sure our ancestors ain't have no fancy eyewear. Also pretty sure they ain't all go blind." So he was pretty confident. That's a bold statement.
Look, that's the scientific method: is you put forth a hypothesis and then you test it. That's true. And he tested it.
However, fast forward to Tuesday, the hip hop artist announced the cancellations of shows in Cleveland, Chicago, and Toronto, and this is just poor wording, due to unforeseen
He knew what he was
circumstances.
doing. That was intentional.
Yeah,
Scene.
but then Twitter just had a field day with Joey Badass, Eclipse 1, Joey Badass 0.
How ironic.
How ironic.
I should have seen that coming.
I think there's another one. Your arrogance blinds you. Yeah, people calling out the unforeseen. This is just a weird story. I don't really have anything else to say other than why would you look at the eclipse? Everyone was warned.
Yeah.
Every single person was warned about that eclipse.
Well, he was just our president. Checked the eclipse out unguarded. I mean, if it's safe for him, it's safe for all of us.
That's true.
He's got the best eyes.
Bless you, Dan. It does have the best eyes.
Best eyes.
Best eyes. And I mean, I appreciate our president because he did it both ways. He looked at it with the sunglasses for a minute and he said, overrated, and then went just bare eyes.
Well, I just gotta say, I just want to be sympathetic towards Joey Badass because he's actually the best part of Mr. Robot now, which is a show that went in the tank aside from Joey Badass's part. He's actually really awesome in it. So I think the only thing that could make him cooler, he's kind of like a hitman, like an undercover stealthy hitman, is if he was blind. Because that always makes someone more badass.
So
Blind
they have to
rapper
write
hitman,
it
yeah.
into the scripts.
Yeah, as if he's like a blind samurai. That would be
Stick.
awesome. Exactly.
Yeah. That's really all we got for our show today. This was our Fan Friday, and everyone wanted us to talk about James Cameron. So maybe not to get too political or crazy, but with the looking at the eclipse, from everything that we've been through at this week, what's either the one person or the one story that you wish had just looked at the eclipse and gone blind?
What?
Or you looked at the eclipse, went blind, and didn't see
And
that
didn't
story.
have to- and didn't
didn't have
see
to
it.
endure that story.
yeah.
Got it.
Because it's been a crazy week here. It
has been.
Like we need a bat tracker for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they had a crazy Batman and Joker week.
Yeah, it was just all over the place. I kind of blame the eclipse. I'm not really that person that's like, you know, like the different stars. What is it? Astrology.
Yeah, sure.
But the eclipse had to do something with this week, right?
Yeah,
was a
probably.
weird
But
one.
what
All right.
explains the last, let's say, 8 months?
Build up to it.
Build up to the eclipse.
Okay, all right. This is where we crest.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
You know what I wish I didn't see is because he's a guy that I like normally, but Neil deGrasse Tyson has turned himself into like the bummer of the internet, where he's like, actually, there's like usually an eclipse somewhere on Earth, like every couple days, so like don't get excited about it. Like, are you
Shut up,
supposed to
Neil.
be pushing science? Like he's also like he nitpicks a lot of movies, like when they aren't even holding themselves to a real scientific standard. So just stop being such a downer. Like be like Carl Sagan, get people excited about science.
See,
Don't-
also,
poop in the
I
punch
heard
bowl.
a story this morning that Bill Nye is like suing for millions of dollars of like profits that he didn't get. And like, there's something in the water with these scientists. They are not happy. I think it's the eclipse. The eclipse is ruining our
I
science.
want that to be word for word a line from the movie about scientists to declare, there's something in the water with these scientists.
That sounds like what's that movie that's coming out where like every disaster happens at once?
Geostorm.
The eclipse knocked out our scientists.
I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. Did you know that planets can't have egos?
Right, yeah, thanks. Yes, we know that. Thank you.
It's always so funny when I read those, like the science of Star Trek. It's like, well, the stars would actually be here in this part of the galaxy. I'm like, literally, there's Klingons and green people having sex with the captain. Like, I don't care if the stars
Yeah,
are like
very rarely
ever
care.
so slightly out of the orientation.
Just don't break your own rules. That's sci-fi shows have to do.
Agreed. James, you should have just stayed looking at the eclipse this week, man. Don't
That would have been better press. James Cameron goes blind than what he said about Wonder Woman.
Would that make you want to see Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6?
I would have
more
been
if
really
you
worried
knew
about
were
the
made
depth
by a
perception.
by a blind.
Like the 3D is
just
like all out of whack.
Why is this a quadruple image?
4D.
Yeah, James Cameron just I don't know. I don't know what to tell him. I was gonna say go back to making Avatar, but I don't really want that either. So I don't know.
It's hard to win the war on like changing someone's opinion or making them understand that it's sort of a dumb opinion.
When they're underwater.
But also, but also just like, don't say it. Just have the common sense to be like, I think this about Wonder Woman. I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm just gonna, like, I don't need to add it to the discourse.
Yeah, well, there's no such thing as bad attention anymore. So we've been talking about James Cameron for weeks now. So
Yeah,
victory
this is
Cameron.
true.
Yeah, so a lot of cool things coming up on Screen Junkies this weekend. We have the you did the Game of Thrones crazy fan theories.
Oh, that's this weekend. Cool.
That's going to come up
Yeah.
Sunday before the Saturday. That'll be Saturday before the finale, and then we've also got another video on Sunday, which was the hardest thing I have ever done in my adult life. Which was we are coming out with a video where we take Game of Thrones characters and find their Pixar counterparts.
Doesn't sound that hard.
You know what's hard about it is like, yeah, you can find a moment in a movie. Like, I'm sure you guys have to do it all the time. You guys got to go through a 2-hour movie, find a couple moments. But when you're like, I need to find a clip of Tyrion smiling and saying like, that's a good idea. Like, there's 7 seasons to go through for a moment that may or may not actually exist. Lon, the game master, a lot of prep went into it, but I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. And I think you guys are going to be surprised at some of the parallels we drew. And of course, we'll be back Monday for the finale of Watching Thrones.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good stuff. We got Kumail Nanjiani is back.
He's back.
Couldn't make it last time, but he'll be
Nice.
back this time. And that's it, guys.
That's the show.
That's the show. I don't like hosting.
Flickbait in a few hours.
Yeah, Flickbait at 4.
Yep. And
Baby 4, and yeah,
I'll
over the
take it through
weekend.
Monday.
And we'll be back on Monday morning to hear Ridley Scott's thoughts on the racial politics of Detroit.
I can't say anything better than that. Just roll the end card. Just roll it.